Greetings everybody, my name is Captain Honorseeker and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take you through my progress on the POJ Monk, Patrons of Justice. We are slowly climbing the leaderboards, but we're getting there. We still need to have a lot of like Asian pieces because, hell, we don't have that much yet. Some are alright, but not overly good, but we also still need to like augment most of them. So without further ado, let me take you through this video. So the POJ Monk, what does the POJ Monk do most of the time? You use area damage. Area damage is one of the most important parts on your gear that you want. On your Serious Memento, on your chest, helmet, almost everywhere you can get the Tempest Rush buff as well. The higher your buff on there, the higher damage you do. So basically what you try to do is you keep your stacks going as high as possible. If you get a shield pylon, try to get it as quickly as possible. So Tempest Rush, what does the Tempest Rush do? It stacks Flurry and it stacks your Tempest Rush points. Which if you reach 100, you will do a tremendous amount of damage on the boss. Alright. With Cyclone Strike, like when you have 100 Flurry points on your Tempest Rush, you press Cyclone Strike to release your Tempest Rush. Why do you do that? It's quite easy. You do that because of the releasing of your Tempest Rush will grant you the damage that you need to slay down an enemy. So you use the COE for that, which is quite easy. The higher your COE percentage is for Cyclone Strike, the better. You want to have at least 190 plus. Preferably 200. You might need to have some couple of bounties to do that, but it's gonna work out in your favor at one point. Trust the process and nothing else. So Tempest Rush, what do you need? Which 5 pieces do you're gonna use 5 pieces of the Patrons of Justice set. You're gonna use the pants, the chest piece, the helmet, the shoulders, and the gloves. You're gonna use Captain Crimson's boots and belt. I was lucky to craft a GG primal Captain Crimson's belt. For your bracers, you're gonna use Caesar's Memento because of the extra damage buff on the gloves there. That's maximum 800. Alright, if you have all that together and your gems are good and everything else is good, for your cube you're gonna use balance. Why balance? Balance hits the Tempest Rush as well. It's like 600% additional one. You're gonna use the Channel of Mantling as a gear spot and the Ring of Royal Granger because you're only gonna use 5 pieces of the set and to buff out the Captain Crimson's 3 set. Alright. You see me here going through the rift, still on the 104. It takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it. And once again, you want to try to stack up your stacks. You want to constantly have your inner storm, sweeping wind inner storm constantly up, constantly. You don't want to make sure that it drops. If it drops, you have a problem because you need to restack it. Your Ascension Serenity, you want to have that up as well. You want to keep going that. Epiphany, Desert Shroud, always use Desert Shroud. Like this one, this rift that we just went in 107 is like, I would just wanted to see how far I could push it. Like if I could push it like 107, I could possibly push it to 110 as well. Alright, so what did we find out? It's It's actually not a bad mob type. We got zombies, Lacuni Face Beast, and we got mothers. Mothers, what does that do? Mothers gives you... They spawn ads endlessly if you don't touch them. So you want to keep them away from you as far as possible so they can keep spawning mobs for your progress. Alright. Always when you enter a map as well, don't look at the elites that you get. Look at the trash. The trash is important. Failed swarms, Lacuni Face Beast, porcupines. As long as you don't get spears, you're good. Also, I missed the blue here on this part. What does that do? Basically, it makes me miss a lot of progress on the board itself. But if you miss something, do not go back for it. Going backwards in the Greater Rift is losing progress. The only time you go back if you're actually pushing and you need that elite to spawn on a Condi or a power, whatever you want to go for. Preferably Condi, that's the most powerful pylon in the game. Alright, so a little bit more about the POJ. POJ uses area damage, which is where your sweeping wind in a storm comes in. It helps you going forward. Why? Because it keeps pulling the mobs towards you. Like, you can see that here, like perfectly processed. Perfectly shown as well. Like, I'm nowhere near them, but because of the circle that I have with my sweeping wind, it's like a vacuum. They will get pulled towards you if they're willing to move. It doesn't work on a Juggernaut or an Avenger Blue or the turkeys. Alright, so we have now a speed pylon. Not preferably good, but it will give you that extra mobility. And I need to be careful because we're standing in a Molten. Ooh, a proc there. That's bad. Because you only have one sheet depth. Only one. That's the only one you're going to use because you're using two weapons. You're going to use Dual Guardian as your passive skill. Why dual wielding? Because you're dual wielding. You're using the One King Lao and the King Fury for speeds, the One King Lao and the Azure Ref for pushing. We're not pushing yet. I'm just doing my speeds. Pushing will happen around 114-ish. That's the moment that you actually start pushing. Alright, so what we're doing now is... That's a Condi, that's perfect. For speed, you also not go search for the elites and pull them back towards. No, you just click the pylon and keep going. Alright, 107. We're hitting 95%. Trying to find something good. I found blues. Alright, let's go. Which do we spawn now? Tetris. Not a bad boss. Also not a very good one. But because of all the stacks that I had, he dies instantly. Alright, so a 109. It becomes more difficult for me as well to like try to stay alive. At one point I keep dying. These mob type, the ones that you see now, is comedy comp. You don't want them in a push. In a speed it doesn't matter, but you do not want them in a push. If you get them in a push, close the rift and start over, because they will give you zero progress. Like, I'm in this rift already for like at least 30 seconds. Look at my progress. It's bad. It's really bad. Luckily I found some blues. I'm trying to get them deaf, but lightning is very bad. And alright, for the gems. For the gems you're gonna use Molten Wildebeest, because it doesn't give you that extra shield around you that helps you try to stay alive. You're not gonna use you're gonna use Taeguk as well, because you're constantly gonna use your elemental damage, which way you actually reactivating your Taeguk and Bane of the Trapped. That are the gems that you're gonna use. Make sure they are at least above 25. Sheer Pylon, great. I cannot die for at least another 2 minutes. Which also means my Squash Necklace doesn't die. I use sound alerts on my stream, so if you want to use them as well, come and hang out. I will put the link below. Alright, so what happens here? Porcupines, maggots. That's a decent progress mob type. The map on the other hand is bad, but the mob type on the map it's alright. Illusionist, if you're pushing, do not stay on the illusionists. Do not stay on an illusionist, do not stay on a juggernaut, do not stay on a shield, because they're gonna waste your time tremendously. Alright. We just keep going through the rift. Channeling pylon, that's not the best pylon that you want for your POJ Monk, because it doesn't affect anything except Ascension and Desert Shroud. But Desert Shroud, because of certain items that you have, like Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, COE, Taeguk, it keeps refreshing it almost instantly. The channeling works for your Ascension and your Serenity, because it will take longer for it to like have a cooldown, but you can re-spam it. So you keep spamming it, so your survivability is higher. Alright. Wallers are still in the game, I have no idea why, but I think Blizzard should give them like a health pool. Like, let's say 10 million health or something. Or at least 500 million or something, that it takes time for it to be taken down, but not constantly up when they're like spawning. Or just take them out. It doesn't matter for me, as long as I can go through it and I can keep killing them. And here we're like slowly going the wrong way as usual. It's not a great rift if you go in the right way. It's a great rift when you go the wrong way and figure it out that you went the wrong way. Alright, so Shrouded Moors, Speed Pylon. Trying to figure out when the boss spawns. Oof, that was big. That was a massive hit. Sometimes your damage does not do the things that you want to do, but again, keep saying this. Keep your area damage. Keep your sweeping wind up. Who do we spawn for a boss? Bone Warlock. Not the most difficult one, but he tends to teleport and he tends to spawn mobs as well. Like in this case. Right, 4:51, so that was like almost a 5-minute one, which is bad. Alright, next rift, we start on the map Cursed Woods, which can be found in Act 3, Rules of Cheshire. I died. I figured out at one point why I died. You see those traps popping in like in the middle of the screen every now and then? That are the ones that actually got me dead. But it's only one loss, that's not too bad. Arcane Beams, I'm not very fond of them. Makes me feel like playing Super Mario Bros. Back in the 90s. Where you had to dodge those fire beams. It's alright, it works out. Towards the 2 elite pack, alright, I forgot that. Alright, so now we just keep going forward. Porcupines, they're good. They're not the bad ones. We just keep plowing. At one point I figure out, alright, I don't see an elite spawn, so I just gonna release. By releasing, I just mean press Cyclone Strike and you will be good. This elite didn't really want to die, but eventually he will. Once again, a waller who places down traps. Not the super best one. Like, I went down there like a little bit up to see if there was a pylon there. Often they spawn in the corners there, so you try to find still a pylon. Pylons are very important in Diablo. They will buff your character and they will do it nicely. Alright, so we find some blues, we find a shallow pylon. Once again, not really helpful. Unless for your survivability, that helps out with Ooh, I died again. I died 2 times then. Thought I only died once. Right, so... spinners. I didn't say on there because there were spinners. Like, nope, no way, Jose. I was instantly out of there. The moment I figured out there were spinners spawned on the pylon, nope, out. Your damage will reflect. And you don't want that. Damage reflection is very annoying and super bad for you as well as a character. The Moltons are like sad annoying, but they're useful. Alright, so we keep going down. What do we find? A speed pylon. No spinners, no spinners. Alright, so we're staying on these elite as well. Try to stay as well inside the Oculus that I spawned for, which is on my follower with the Oculus ring. To amplify your damage as well. Everything that you try to do is to amplify your damage. How do you do that? Oculus ring on your follower. Power pylon, Condy pylon, shield pylon. Your scored necklace also amplifies your damage, but it also increases the damage that you take, so be wary of that. That was a big pool. I was like, alright, let's do this. And we found a new elite, a yellow one, which means 4 purple orbs to continue. Alright, we're hitting like the 3 to 4 minute mark here. Found a shield pylon. What do I do? Alright, I see a yellow there, and because of the area damage, I will instantly take the pylon and keep my area damage going for as long as I can to basically keep blasting it. What the problem is as well with the Tempest Rush, if you get vortexed, teleported, jailed, you will lose your stacks as well. Desolate Sense, the map that does his name very, very, very truth to its name. It's desolated. They either need to increase the density on this map or reduce this map spawn point as well. Also, what's helpful is on this map is your exit is located constantly in the middle of the map. So it's not too bad, but it's not super good. Alright, we're actually searching for a pylon here that can help us. Shield. I still have the shield, so I still have like a tremendous amount of Squirt's Necklace buff going. At one point I just figured out I will not find one, so I just went searching for more elites to kill. We didn't get any pylon, but we're getting close to the end. 96%. Like you see again my sweeping wind, what it does, like it pulls the mobs towards me. Hence the reason why area damage is so important. The moment you start hitting monsters, it will expand. Right, we do spawn binder. Binder is not the most difficult one, but it will like instantly 25%, 75% left. And that's it. We did it. Rank 86. Right, you saw me doing a 110 GR on just over 6 minutes, like not completely 6 minutes flat, but that's all right. we're gonna keep building it. We're gonna keep pushing forward. I want to see how I can get this season as well, because last season I got into the top 40. So I want to see how good I can be this season. This season already entered the top 100, so we're slowly making progress. Will it be a difficult road on softcore? Probably not, but we're gonna also do this on hardcore, which is gonna be more difficult because you don't have your second cheat death. Alright, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.